When you're new in a fighting game, it's common to lose. A lot. And when you lose over and over and over again, it's super easy to get discouraged and feel like you aren't making any progress. The reality of learning is that you're going to have to go through loss in order to get better. Most players think, generally, coming out on top with the win is what signifies improvement. But you can't expect to win all the time, especially when you're brand new. This can lead players to feel like you are making no progress when you're getting slapped with loss after loss after loss. The best advice I can give someone who wants to get better at a fighting game is to not make winning your goal. Make continued improvement your goal. It is understandable to have winning be the metric of improvement that you want to track, but you can't expect to win every match, no matter what level of player you are. With this goal, you will set yourself up for disappointment with your journey and be far more likely to give up. Since I've set continued growth to be my goal, I've had a much healthier experience with fighting games and been able to improve much faster. So let's take a look at a few tips that I have implemented that might be able to help you out on your journey. So the first tip is to set smaller, more achievable goals, so even when you lose, you can still have wins. So the idea here is to set a goal that is designed to promote your personal growth. And I would recommend doing this at all skill levels, but especially when you are new. So maybe a goal for a session could be, I want to work on my anti-airs, and you put a lot of mental energy into landing your anti-airs in that match. Or maybe you have a particular combo you've been practicing in training mode, and you want to work on actually incorporating it into your gameplay. Or maybe you have a bad habit of always jumping out of the corner immediately, so you want to work on being more patient with your panic options out of the corner. These goals are far easier to achieve, and if you win or lose, you can still work on your anti-airs, work on your panic options, and continue to improve your combo game. You can have as many goals in a session as you feel comfortable, but I would recommend when you're brand new, working on maybe just 2 to start off. That way you are not feeling overwhelmed on the things you're trying to focus on. So now we have our goals set for our next session, but before we queue up, please record your matches. You need to know your mistakes and document them, else how else could we ever know what you need to work on next? There are a couple ways that we can use our recordings. First thing we'll want to do is track your session goals. So immediately after your practice session, go ahead and watch it back, recommend putting on 1.5 times speed, and see how well you did with your goals. So if you wanted to land more anti-airs, track how many times you were able to successfully land them and how many mistakes you made. If you wanted to work on your combo, see how many times you landed that combo, and then recognize opportunities where you could have landed it. Please do not be too hard on yourself. The goal here is not to go, man, I missed 3 anti-airs, I'm awful, I suck. The goal is for you to have a sense of accomplishment and a guide where you can continue to grow. And hopefully you can say, man, I lost, but I still landed 75% of my anti-airs, and that is better than 30% that I was hitting the day before, and you can validate that you are improving. I wouldn't stop your viewing session with just the tracking of your goals. Also check and see what are your mistakes. Mistakes are going to inform what you need to work on next and help you know what your bad habits are. So if you're getting hit a lot, you can go ahead and ask, why am I getting hit? What could you have done instead? Tracking your mistakes inform your goals for the next session. So if you didn't hit your anti-air goal, maybe you want to move that over and say, you still need to work on that. Or you can also notice maybe you were getting whiff punished by your opponents, and you need to be a bit more patient in your neutral. Watching your footage can be a great tool when you're learning because it can help positively reinforce the areas you are improving, while at the same time help you identify your weaknesses and where you need to focus next. So I wanted to walk through a 1-round example of how I review footage, that way in case it's brand new to you, you have an example of what to do. So we have this match where I'm playing my friend, and I do lose this match. So let's go ahead and look for opportunities where I can improve. So right off the bat here, we've got a pretty bad read. My friend had been starting with Spartan kick all day long, so I took a riskier option for the counter, but it did not pay out. So what I should have been doing in this situation is playing a bit more patiently, starting off with some footsies and getting a feel for the situation. Alright, on this next hit, I was sitting here and mashing on Wake Up. The armor punch for Marisa is already incoming, so what I should have done is sat there and blocked and waited it out, or maybe even parried, but not picked an offensive option. Here, I dashed up and did nothing, and I got jabbed out of it. So what I could have done was dash up and blocked, chose to apply some pressure, pretty much anything other than sitting there and doing nothing. And alright, we'll pause here because I do get punish countered because I did an unsafe sweep. trying to punish my opponent's option. So I don't know what would be best from Zangief to punish Marisa here, so I can mark down that this is a situation I could go to training mode and test out. Alright, next, I just get Raw Drive impacted. There's nothing I was doing, and I just wasn't ready to DI back, so I know I need to practice my DI reactions. Here I was recovering from the DI, and I still was in a lot of hits done from that move, so I should have chosen a safer option to get out of the corner. So I got a random DI out of the corner, kind of lucky, but right after this, I go for the EX command grab. On paper, this is a good idea. I go for the command grab that gets me out of the corner and puts Marisa into the corner. But after doing a DI and then spending the meter to do the OD version of the move, I am very meter drained. Blocking just about anything from Marisa would put me into the burnout state, and I still have a lot of life to make up. So instead of going for the OD version of the command grab, it might have been better to just go for the non-OD version, or just do a simple back throw and take the Oki. So here we landed a grab, a nice way to start our pressure. So we had a good read, just the wrong punish. So next time if we have a neutral jump read, we should go for lariat or maybe crouching heavy punch. A safer option other than wheel kick, because even though it does look cool, we end up dead if it whiffs. Now that we walked through that one round, you can see how fine-tuned we can get with pointing out our flaws and our successes. I picked a game where I kind of got washed in this example to show how critical you could be of yourself, but you definitely want to take time to track both the positives and the negatives and be honest with yourself. In review of that round, we could look to develop my goals for the next session. So we could say, I need to work on my whiff punishes because I had some opportunities to maybe jab, but I went for a sweep that got me punished. I definitely needed to work a bit on my defense because I got counter hit many times and I didn't DI back in spots where I had the ability to. And in general, just taking less riskier options. I took a wheel kick that ended up costing me the game when there was definitely something else that was safer for me to consider. And I don't want to say you need to be perfect at your rod review. I had more places we could have broken down. We could have looked at every hit that I landed and seen what I could have done more optimally. What's most important is striving for continued growth and getting comfortable with the review and processing your losses, and you'll be on your way to seeing improvements in the future. So in review, remember to set smaller, achievable goals that you can track whether you win or lose a match. You always want to record your sessions, that way you can validate your progress, but also be informed of the mistakes that you are making along the way so you can develop new goals for your upcoming sessions and continue a cycle of improvement. I am ever learning, so as always, I would love to hear your comments down below on what you do to improve in fighting. I also wanted to shout out with the recent growth on the channel, I did decide to make a Discord. I want it to be a place where players from all skill levels can gather to improve together and just have a fun time. So if you're looking for a welcoming community where you can get some games in and get some constructive feedback, please join with the link in the description down below. I would also love to do some community events in the future, so please join and stay tuned for those. Well, thank you so much for watching today. Please give me a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed this content, and until next time, later fam.